We got away from everything, a fresh start, you know. So my name's Kevin Martinez. I'm originally from Paterson, New Jersey. I joined the Marine Corps Reserves when 2010, July 2010, and I got out April 2016. I got out as a sergeant of Marines. I was a mechanic, 3521, motor team mechanic. So from Paterson, New Jersey. Paterson isn't a great city. It's really rough, it's aggressive, there's a lot of crime, a lot of drug dealing and drug addicts out there. Yeah, rough city, but my family is always super close, and fortunately, my grew up with both my parents. I know like a lot of young kids in a city like that, in an inner city like that, don't grow up with both their parents, and they lead into like wrong directions sometimes. But yeah, that was pretty much my upbringing right there. I grew up playing soccer. Grew up playing travel soccer since I was 6 years old, me and my brother. And we played like 2 to 4 times a week, practice and playing games on the weekends. And we were really good because my father would always take us to the park and make us train to play 1v1 all the time together. Yeah, we were pretty good at soccer. Yeah.
Nice. How did you avoid the gang life and all that influence around you like that?
Yeah. The way that I got away from it, me and my brother, was just having my father in the house. He was super strict, very intimidating man, especially when he grew up as a kid. He would strike fear in us when he had to. And but super grateful for him for being in our lives and being a great example and always working hard. And that's what pretty much kept us out. And yeah, we'd rather not have to deal with him than like fucking get in trouble or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you were living in Jersey during 9/11, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Talk to me about what that experience was like.
So 9/11. So Paterson, New Jersey is like 20 minutes away from the Lincoln Tunnel. So to get into like New York City, it's like 25-minute drive to the Lincoln Tunnel or to like the George Washington Bridge. So we're right there. There's some parts of Paterson or Clifton or whatever where you can see the New York skyline. That's how close we are. So I grew up, the school I went to was School 8 in Paterson. And so I was in 6th grade, and it was like the first period. It was like we had music class. And so this time around, we, instead of sitting in front of the auditorium, they had us in the back, and we had 2 teachers, a music teacher and a secretary. They were in the front of the class. We had no class. And I remember them listening to the radio, and they were super glued to the radio. And then didn't think much of it because we were just shooting the shit in the back of the auditorium. And then as the day went on, there was a rumor that the Twin Towers got hit by 2 planes, and that supposedly like a lot of people died. But I was young and naive. I didn't think much of it. I just thought that maybe it was like an accident or something. And then throughout the day, kids started getting picked up early from school, like more and more and more. I got picked up around like 2 o'clock. By then, there was probably only like 6 other kids left in the class. My mother picked us up, and I remember my boy. He was like my neighbor. His mother didn't pick him up at all. And I'm like, damn, bro, your mother doesn't love you, bro. But we got home. My father was already home, and he had the TV on. He was like, look what happened today. And I'm like, oh shit, you see the Twin Towers, you see the people falling off the buildings, you see the collapse and all that. And then that's when he explained to me that it was a terrorist attack and that they did this shit on purpose. And that's when it hit me like, oh shit, we got attacked, And then all these people died. And then that day was just pretty much just watching the news all day. And the next day, Nobody went to school. Nobody went to work. It was a day off. And my father, he took me and my brother to Jersey City. And Jersey City was a half-hour drive. And Jersey City is the city right across from the World Trade Centers. You can see it like right there. So we found parking, and we went to these basketball courts at this park. And we went to the furthest edge of the park, and we saw 9/11. We saw that whole shit. And for those of you who don't know, fucking that smoke was there for like at least a week. This shit took some time to all that shit to clear up. So when I got there, when we were there the morning of 9/12, dude, it was just the biggest cloud of smoke you could ever fucking see. You see the debris, and I remember like looking up, following the debris, and just going up into space, just so massive. Like this image was so like monumental, and it was so mind blowing. Like being there and being able to like witness that. And I remember there was a dude standing next to me. He just finished playing basketball, but he was just like on the gate. He was like, I'll never forget this. He said, "The Empire State Building is once again the tallest building in New York." I remember he said that shit like, I can remember it, you know. We probably stayed there, I don't know, maybe like an hour or something. And after that, we got back in the car, and my father's like, "Hey, let's see if we could get into New York City." So we got back in the car, and we headed towards the Holland Tunnel. And there's an intersection right there. And so when we get to the Holland Tunnel, it's just chaos. A lot of chaos, a lot of traffic, because the whole city was being evacuated. So so we went in, there's cops, there's firefighters yelling and screaming. And I remember this one cop, he like yelled at my father and kind of like cursed him out. And I'm like, I remember when I was a kid, I'm like, "Dad, you're a dick." But like, you know, just being a kid, but like, as I look back on it now, that guy probably lost a whole ton of his friends just 24 hours before that. And I remember the look on his face, he looked so stressed out. Like he hasn't probably got no sleep, no nothing. He can't even like mourn on his friends that just died. And he has to work that shift. And we left Jersey City, went back home. And you know, 9/11 was on a Tuesday. I'll say by like Wednesday or Thursday, every single house, every single car, and every single neighborhood and every single city had an American flag.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's that's pretty deep, I guess.
Yeah, I always hear that everybody wishes they could go back to September 12th.
Yeah.
Right? Because of how everybody came together
Yeah.
for each other. But I have no idea what that felt like actually being in the heart of everything.
Yeah.
Like you were pretty much right there,
Yeah.
right? So, wow, man. How old were you at this time?
I was 10.
Wow.
So I was old enough to remember like all that, you know.
Man.
Yeah. And there's for sure, like, as you will drive around in certain neighborhoods, you'll see memorials on people's lawns of family members that they lost in World Trade Centers. You will meet, I played soccer with kids whose father was like in the World Trade Centers, but he escaped. It was a thing, Telemundo or Univision. I played with that kid, or the cameraman that was filming all that shit. You can see it, like he's there on site recording everything. And then when he records, he's like on street level recording up. He records everything falling, and you see him running into like a parking lot. I played soccer with that freaking dude's son.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that was freaking. So everybody knew somebody who knew somebody that was affected, or that was there, or some shit, you know.
Yeah, I can't imagine how many memorials you've seen just driving around like that, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Are some of those? When's the last time you've been to Jersey?
I was there last March.
Are those memorials still around?
Not so much, not really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, man.
It's kind of weird too, cause like like you grow up, everybody experiences this shit, but not really. It's only like really people who grew up in that area that experienced it. Cause I'll tell somebody like that. Oh, I saw that shit. They'd be like, for real? I'm like, yeah. Like me thinking like, oh, you weren't there, you know? Because it was so normal at the time, you know, that everybody saw this shit.
Yeah.
Or at least I thought.
Everybody around the world definitely seen it
Yeah.
on TV,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
But in person, you know,
It's a different story.
it is a different story in person.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, what inspired you to join the military?
So the Marine Corps, since I was a kid, actually, you know, when you watch like shows like Maury or whatever, and you see these badass kids on fucking Maury, and they get sent to boot camp. And you see these kids getting fucking slayed and shit. I always thought like, no, I could do that shit. You know, I could do that shit. I want to go to boot camp. You know, that shit looks like a challenge. Looks like fun. So I've always had like this little fascination of going to boot camp. So like, after I graduated high school, I did college for a year, dropped out, and then I worked for a year. And then by the end of that year, I kind of just felt lost. And then I think that's why I immediately fell on the idea of joining the military. I think it was a lot of it of maybe like 9/11, and then the fascination of going to boot camp kind of just like led me into that direction. Like, hey, fuck it. But yeah, that was. Other than that, I had no idea what the military was. I don't know what active duty. I didn't know Marines, difference between the Army and Marines and sailors and all that. I don't know what a guidon. I didn't know what rank structure was. I didn't know jack shit about the military. I really just wanted to go to fucking boot camp and experience this shit. And yeah, I definitely went to boot camp, and that shit was fucking.
How did you end up choosing the Marine Corps?
My boy, Alex. I was chilling with him. It was like summer 2010, and I was hanging out with him. He came to my crib or whatever, and he came with his boy, Jensen, and Jensen was joining the Marine Corps, and he was actually shipping off in like less than a month. And since he was shipping off, and we kind of clicked right away, it kind of encouraged me to like go with him. You know, because he's like super hyped. Yeah, I'm about to be a Marine and all that shit. I'm like, fuck yeah, you know, there's somebody who's trying to do something with his life, and let me follow that energy. I'm young and I'm gonna do shit anyways. In Patterson's a rough city, you know. There's kids getting shot every other weekend in Patterson, you know. Wow. So yeah.
What was your recruiting experience like?
Recruiting, dude, it was like that, bro. Fucking, I met this dude like on a Saturday. By like that following Monday, I talked to his recruiter, and then I told him I want to join, and they told me they don't have anything. The only thing available right now is if you join the reserves, we could ship you off immediately, and that's all I wanted. I just wanted, let me just get out of here, make the decision fast, and just kind of not even think about it. And maybe I should have done my homework, you know, go on Google or some shit, see what I was getting myself into.
Yeah. Talk to me about boot camp, man. What was boot camp like for you?
Boot camp, so I shipped off, it was July 2010, and it was pretty wild because like boot camp, Marine Corps boot camp, I went to Paris Island. The whole experience is a culture shock, you know. Fucking, you're super uncomfortable. But I remember, this fucking story. One day after, it was with the receiving drill instructor, right? I got he open palm fisted me like in the face, like during like we were receiving all our gear. And he was like, "Oh, do you have mag pouch or whatever?" And he kicked my shit, and I looked at him, and he just fucking went, bah! And I'm like, God damn, you fucking asshole. You know, I didn't say it because he's probably gonna hit me again and shit. But I remember that shit happened, and later on that day, we were in the squad bay with that receiving drill instructor, and we're all lined up. So it was like almost like 80 of us, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't know what happened, but I remember this recruit started like laughing, right, like giggling. Mm-hmm. And then the drill instructor's like, laugh one more time. We're gonna play fuck games in the shower, right? And this motherfucker started laughing even more. So, fucking, we're still all in fucking. I don't even think we had camis yet. I think we were still in our civilian shit. And then this motherfucker made all of us, strip down, ass naked, right? And then that's like, what the fuck, One day in, you're already fucking doing this shit. And then he made us sprint to the rain room, to the shower room. And then he packed us up into a corner, nut to butt, right?
Butt naked?
Butt naked. Of course, you're covering your junk and shit, but you're fucking nut to butt touching everybody. It was like, all right, good, now squat down. All right, now stand up. Pack up, squat down, stand up. And then it was like it was pretty fucking gay. And these... And then there's dudes still laughing.
Yeah.
These motherfuckers are still laughing. And I'm not gonna lie, from these motherfuckers laughing, I started laughing too.
That's just contagious, huh?
But then, of course, there was a bunch of fucking recruits there that were just like pissed, like, fucking, I can't believe I'm doing this shit right now. And then, long story short, with that shit actually came full circle 10 years later. What? So I was during the pandemic, I was back home cutting hair. And one of the dudes I was in the buddy program with hit me up for a haircut. I haven't seen him in almost a decade. And I'm cutting his hair up in the backyard. My boy Frost. And he told me like, hey, remember that incident in boot camp when we were fucking doing the nut to butt shit and all that? I was like, yeah, I remember that shit. He was like, that guy got charged for that incident with sexual assault? Oh. And he got kicked out the Marine Corps? And I was like, no shit, for real? And I was thinking like, dog, one day in the Marine Corps, I got fucking sexually assaulted. I didn't even fucking know. And then, yeah, and I couldn't help but think, like, this guy assaulted like almost 80 recruits in like 10 minutes. Wow. I'm like, this guy's like the Michael Jordan of sexual assault and shit.
And you were just in receiving. You haven't even gotten dropped to your fucking platoon yet.
Yeah. And it's crazy how, like, always talk about how big sexual assault is in the Marine Corps. Like, I lasted one fucking day before that shit happened,
Wow.
But I just thought it was just about, getting hazed and all that shit or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it like when you finally did get dropped to your platoon?
I fucking got hazed like a motherfucker that first day. Cause, the Jones Shutter's like, anybody part of the buddy program? I didn't even know what the fuck the buddy program was, so I didn't raise my hand. And then some Jones Shutter came in. He was like, you're part of the fucking buddy program, aren't you? I'm like, oh, is this guy your friend? I was like, yeah. And then he just fucking slayed the shit out of me for like an hour. Though I was in tears. Though he made me with my fucking sea bag, fucking main pack, assault pack, all this shit. Fucking, he made me go up and down the 3 flights of stairs for like an hour, dude. Oh. Yeah. But 12 days later, so I had a previous injury with my shoulder, and I got a waiver for with a recruiter. I dislocated my shoulder playing soccer when I was a kid, like a couple times. And so the 12th day, we're at the confidence course, right? And then I remember seeing the monkey bars over there. And then I'm like, oh my God, like, though, if I go on that shit, I'm for sure fucking my shit up again. And then we go through the whole confidence course. And I'm like, bam, oh, we're not doing the monkey bars. And then they were like, we got 10 minutes, get on the monkey bars. I'm like, fuck, I already know what's about to happen. So I'm like, fuck, let's go, here go nothing. So I went up, as soon as I swung, and I went to go swing again, bam, my shit popped out, and I'm hanging right there with my shoulder out, fucking in pain, and I had to like slowly like let down my shoulder, and I jumped down, and then the drill instructor, I remember this motherfucker, dog, Sergeant Freed, a little dick. He was like, he called me a weak bitch. He was like, you weak bitch. And then I told him I dislocated my shoulder. He was like, I don't give a fuck. I'll rip your shoulder off and beat you to death with it. I'm like, fuck, dude, this is the fucking worst shit ever. And then I actually ended up getting dropped to MRP for 6 weeks. So I was there. So after that, I went to the ER. A couple corpsmen tried putting my shoulder back in. And a doctor eventually put it back in. But yeah, I got dropped for 6 weeks. So so after those 6 weeks at MRP, I went back into training with whatever recruits that were at the confidence course. And then luckily I got to miss that shit. So yeah, I started with them. And then I just came in just super motivated because I just missed out on 6 weeks, you know? And 2 days later, they promoted me to squad leader, and then I stayed squad leader my entire time boot camp, and then I graduated as a squad leader.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So that was in that point in my life, that was the lowest I ever been. Being at MRP, you clean all fucking day. That's all you do. You go to your medical appointments in the morning, between chow or whatever, you're just cleaning all day, getting yelled at all day. Fucking for 24/7 for 6 weeks straight, I was there. So finally be able to go back into training. I kind of felt like I took boot camp for I was ungrateful for being there, because I'd much rather be, at least when you're training, you're moving forward and you're gonna get out of there. Over there, you're just in limbo.
You're stuck, huh?
Yeah, you're stuck. So when I got back, I just had all this fucking energy, and then I ended up graduating as squad leader, and that's the first time in my life where I felt like I had a goal in my life, and then I accomplished that goal.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And where'd you go after boot camp?
Boot camp, I did the 10 days boot leave or whatever back in Jersey. Then went to MCT in Camp Geiger, North Carolina. And it was December time frame. And it was fucking cold as shit. The lowest of the days, it'll get to single digits. And in boot camp, MCT, you're just in the field the whole time pretty much. So that was the coldest I've ever been in my life. And so the first day checking in, but at nighttime, we're standing in formation. And we're to do complete some paperwork or whatever, and we're freezing our asses off. And in MCT, they integrate on the East Coast the men and the female. So I heard a female talking further down, and it was so weird just listening to her talk. But in my gut, it was the weirdest fucking feeling. I'm like, dude, did I just fucking dislocate my shoulder and do all this shit and blah 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 just to be here right now because that's my wife? And then sure enough, we've been married for 11 years now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, so you heard your...
Yeah, that the voice, the female Marine that heard talking in formation.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we've been married for 11 years now.
Oh, shit. So
Yeah.
you guys were in the same... Were you guys in the same platoon?
Yeah, same platoon. Yeah.
Oh, no shit.
In MCT, we're MCT sweethearts. We met in formation. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
dude.
she was talking about her hands are all cold and shit. So then when they dismissed us to go inside to fill out some paperwork, I offered her the issue green Marine Corps gloves. I'm like, hey, you want to just use these? And then that's pretty much how we started talking.
Wow.
Yeah, and we got 2 boys now, freaking 9-year-old and a 4-year-old.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Met your wife in the Marines. And,
Yeah.
and she's a fucking Marine herself. Huh?
Yep.
Wow. So after you go to MCT, did you have to go through any MOS school?
Yeah. So after MCT, I was a mechanic, and she was administration. And then both the schools are in Camp Johnson, so we ended up going to the same camp for MOS. So that's when we started dating and all that. MOS was cool. Just learning about how to fix trucks. I was a fucking terrible mechanic, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. But I remember one kid after we graduated, that Saturday, he died in a drunk driving car crash.
Oh.
That weekend that we graduated. Yeah. After that, after MOS, I checked into my unit in Red Bank, New Jersey. It was called 6 Motors at the time. I was only there for 5 months, because then by that time, I saw my wife out in Camp Pendleton during those 5 months, and I proposed in her barracks room, and then
In the barracks
in the
room?
barracks room, yeah, and then I ended up checking out that unit only after being there for like 4 or 5 drills, and moved to Camp Pendleton, and then I checked into 4th LAR, H&S Company, Motor T, 4 Squad mechanics. Yeah. Wow. And those guys were the fucking dopest dudes I ever met in my goddamn life.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How so?
Just, they were all, my NCOs and staff NCOs were either Iraq or Afghan vets or both. And when we checked in, the platoon sergeant was a dude named Sergeant Gillen. I'm not sure if he got out. I know for sure he picked up staff sergeant. I don't know if he went any further than that. But he was such a great leader, dude. Sick ass fool. And just the whole platoon fucking just rocked with him, you know. That was the dude. He fucking kept us fucking going, you know. I remember one time I was a boot ass fucking Lance Corporal. And he was actually riding bitch in a 7-ton. I was on the passenger seat. And he was like, you guys want to smoke? We ain't supposed to smoke, but he gave us fucking cigarettes anyway. We were fucking smoking in the cabin shit on this fucking convoy. That was just the type of dude that he was. And then if he needed to chew your ass out, he'd fucking chew you out. But just know that, like, it was for a good reason, you know? And these guys are fucking awesome. They're all about the camaraderie and keeping the platoon like a brotherhood. This one time, the NCOs, the staff NCOs, they all chipped in for a double-decker party bus. And we started in Las Flores. And we fucking, we went to like Huntington Beach, but by the time we got there though, we were so fucking shit-faced, so fucking drunk. We're fucking throwing up all over the fucking place. Good time. We had a Marine, I think it might have been that same summer, but I guess at the time, like in the Marine Corps, I guess he would say that he's like a turd or maybe like a shitbag. But when I look back on it now, he was just, he was a Marine, but he was a man. Like he stood his ground. Like if an NCO or staff NCO told him some shit and he didn't agree, he would stand his ground. He would disagree with you, and he would tell you what's up, you know. And I know he got into like a little bit of trouble. He made a mistake or whatever. He fought or whatever. But the weekend that he found out that he got selected for corporal. Like the next day he died.
What?
Yeah, he died. He was in Pasadena, downtown Pasadena, and him and his boys, they were also Marines. Some guys started a fight with them, and my boy Martinez, I was the other Martinez of the platoon at the time, so it was like 2 of us, and he stopped the fight. He didn't want to fight. He was trying to like calm it down. And like the hardest part about that was that his death was caught on a dash cam, on a car dash cam. So it was recorded, his death was recorded, and ultimately it was posted on YouTube. So like it was hard to see your boy die on YouTube, you know. That was fucked up. And that kind of killed the morale for a little bit with the platoon.
How did he die? It was a fight?
Yeah, so in the video, he looks like he's not even like paying attention. He's just minding his business, and some dude just like fucking hit him from the back, and then he fell. He was on the curb, and then he fell head first on the concrete, and then he died from a head injury. Yeah, and the guy he got charged for involuntary manslaughter, and I think he only got like 7 years. That was back in 2013, so that motherfucker's out right now. And he was a senior lance, so he deployed with the Marines that just got back from the deployment before, and he's super knowledgeable, chill dude, awesome guy.
Wow.
But yeah, rest in peace.
Wow. What was his name?
Joshua Martinez. Yeah.
Wow. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Any other stories from military service?
Yeah. This one time we were in Fort Urban, and that's an army base out like in the fucking desert somewhere in California, and it's fucking hot as shit. It's not too far from like 29 Palms, and so we're out there for a couple weeks, and so I was a mechanic, and our little bay was like right across from where they fix the LAVs, those mechanics. Now, one time at night, we're about to go hygiene with like baby wipes and shit. And then we're walking, and then we hear one of the LAVs and the engine's like loud as shit, right? It's fucking loud. And we're like, oh shit, what's going on over there? And then out of nowhere, you see like a big old ball of smoke, boom, go up. And we're like, oh fuck, like something's fucking happening now. So it turns out it was a runaway engine. So usually if you can't turn that shit off, then the whole thing will explode pretty much. And I'm over here thinking like, oh shit, I'm about to see like a whole training incident happen like right in front of my face. And it was definitely heading in that direction. And so I guess in these LEVs, there's like little hatches where you could like take them off and you could have access to the engine. So I seen a couple Marines like going to these little hatches, like jumping in there, and they're trying to pull shit, but shit is hot as fuck. They're getting burned from all the oil and all that, bam, bam, bam. And then another cloud of smoke, boom, like even fucking bigger, you know? And right there, fucking the staff sergeant pulled a Marine out, and he went in there, and I'm like, oh shit, you know, this guy just fucking, you know, doing some wild shit. And then he's trying to pull shit out, and then a chief warrant officer, he fucking came out of nowhere and fucking told everybody to like, you know, either grab a corpsman or grab like a fire extinguisher or some shit. But I remember at that time that we were just like froze, like watching this shit. And always think back like all the training that you get in the Marine Corps just to react. If even in boot camp, if a drill instructor tells you to run up that hill, you don't ask, you just fucking do it, you know? And I can always imagine like, let's say being in combat and then you freeze, you need that one Marine with experience to fucking tell you what the fuck to do. And then that instinct kicks in. So then when he yelled at us, we fucking scatter like fucking cockroaches without even thinking, grabbing whatever we could fucking get. Some guys are the corpsmen and shit. And then ultimately that staff sergeant, I don't know how he fucking did it. He must have got burnt, but he turned off the engine by himself. And then the shit that like tripped me out was that like as soon as he jumped out from the LAV, he grabbed all his Marines, all his mechs right there, and he just gave them a class on what to do when you have a running engine it's about to fucking explode. And I was just like, that's fucking mind blown. This shit almost went down, and you're so calm and cool and collective. You're about to give a whole hip pocket class about this shit.
Right away, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Fucking sick ass dude.
That's wild, man. Did you experience any other types of training incidents?
No, that was pretty much it. Pretty much it. But living on base, you always hear shit. I remember one time 4 Marines died when a dud artillery blew up and killed all 4 of them. Or next door, first LER, I remember I heard a water buffalo squish the fucking Marine because he tried catching it or some shit. Oh. Yeah, so you always hear shit around.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been out the Marine Corps for like 6 years already. But this happened this past July as a barber. So I cut hair in San Clemente, right outside of Camp Pendleton. And so I had a client, this kid named Fisher, Joseph Fisher. He was from Montgomery, Alabama. I know he deployed at least once on a mule, and on that mule he gained like 40 pounds. He told me he became like an alcoholic. So of course everybody calls him a shitbag or turd or whatever. But so I started cutting his hair. He came into the shop. I started cutting his hair, and I cut him up like 5 or 6 times, and I knew from the second that he walked into the shop. Just like looking at his face, just looking at him, I know he was probably going through some shit. Sometimes, you know, people just like wear it on their face, you know. So I think like for me, naturally, I felt like, oh, let me just talk to this Marine like he's just like a regular, like a human being, because there's probably a whole bunch of Marines that just treat him like shit, you know. His NCOs probably don't even know anything about him, you know. So I started cutting his hair, and we'll just shoot the shit. We'll laugh, we'll fucking share stories, and so he was a young black kid. He had wavy hair. He would get a low skin fade, and so the last time I cut him up was July 1st of this year, and then after that I heard about a kid who committed suicide on base, and then 2 weeks later I found out that it was him. He shot himself in the head, like outside of the chow hall in 62 area.
Oh man.
Yeah, and that hurt a lot because, like, when I served, I never knew anybody who, you know, committed suicide. None of my buddies, and as a barber, I never had a client who passed away. And then the first person who passes away is a Marine, and he's my client. You know, so it was like it was hard to understand that, you know.
Yeah. Knowing that this guy was sitting in your chair.
He's sitting in my chair. He killed himself 1 week after I cut his hair. And like that haircut was like the best haircut that I'd given him up to that date, you know? And yeah, it was just that kind of like just fucked with me. And he was a great kid. Great kid.
Wow.
Lance Corporal. He was supposed to get out. So he died. It was like July 6 or 7 on a Friday or whatever. He's supposed to get out 2 weeks after that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, now that we're into transition, let's just stick to it, man. What was transitioning out like for you?
For me, well, for us, my wife and I was in the reserve and she did 4 years active duty. One thing that I would say is that the Marine Corps gives you like a lot of purpose while you're in and trains you to be a warrior. And then when you get out the Marine Corps, you kind of lose that purpose. You almost feel lost. And like, I never deployed, never seen any combat or anything. Like, so for me, one of my things was, I'm a sergeant. I got 2 ribbons, you know. So you get out the Marine Corps, just like, fuck, I feel like a failure, you know. You feel like ashamed. And my wife, she wanted to do like 20 years in the Marine Corps, and then she got screwed over or whatnot. And then so when she got out, you know, she didn't have that purpose either because she thought she was gonna be like a lifer, you know, super motivated. She fucking loves her job. She loves doing administration. And so during that time, we were definitely going through like a mental health phase where we just didn't know like what we wanted to do, and we couldn't relate to anybody. And then getting out and being angry and sad and all this shit, and we're arguing. And then I was a brand new barber at the time. So brand new barbers, you're still learning how to cut hair. You're fucking broke. So you throw finances into that. We ended up splitting up for a couple months. And then when we finally got back together, because we realized like we fucking need each other, we lost everything. We were homeless. We were homeless with a 4-year-old boy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
how'd you lose everything?
it was just a nasty breakup, you know. Yeah, there's a whole can of worms there, but
yeah,
it was just generalized. It was just bad.
How did you navigate being homeless together like that with your 4-year-old
Dude, that
son?
shit was so tough. Dude, that shit was so fucking stressful, dude. So we had no place to stay, right? So every night we slept at a different hotel, right? For like 2 or 3 weeks. My son, he was 4 at the time. We told him that that we were on vacation. So after those 2, 3 weeks, We had a friend. He let us stay at his place for a month, and we saved up as much as we could. We sold everything we had, and we headed to Jersey. That's where I'm from, Jersey. My family's like, yeah, fucking come back. We'll take you in. Don't trip. So, yeah, we fucking drove to fucking Jersey in my fucking 2008 Saturn Aura. And that shit was fucking like a weight off our shoulders. We got away from everything. A fresh start, you know?
What a good pops, man. You got your dad.
Yeah.
It's awesome, man. To be able to, you know, you talked about how awesome your dad was in the beginning of this story, and and it's coming back around now. You know? That's awesome.
Yeah. Then yeah, we stayed there we're there for 3.5 years, and it was great, dude. Having a fresh start like that, we were able to like mentally heal from that transition. It took some time, you know, but you discover a lot about yourself during that process. Yeah, mentally heal. It gave us opportunity to build up our finances and our credit and all this shit. And then I started cutting hair out there, and my wife was going to school, and then eventually her BAH ran out, and then she's like, fuck, I need to get a job. So she put in her resume. It was like May 2019, and she forgot to update the address. So then we had companies from like Irvine, Orange County, San Diego hitting up for like job interviews, and we're like, oh shit, like that's fucking crazy, you know? And we kind of looked at each other and we're like, because like at this time, like we lived with like this cloud over our head that like, though we just fucked everything up. You know, we're living in regret. And this was like the little piece of hope. We're like, you know, if we could pull this shit off if we wanted to. We can actually move back better than ever if we take care of our shit starting today. So from like summer 2019 up until summer 2021, we just fucking saved everything, saved every fucking penny, all the stimulus from the pandemic, all that shit, saved everything, worked on our credit, everything. And then June 2021, she got a job offer for the Naval Hospital in San Diego.
Nice.
At Wounded Warrior Battalion.
Wow.
And then we were like, we're doing it, accept the job. And it was fucking scary. We're like, oh shit, we're going back to the lion's den. Holy shit. It was like a mental thing. Like, we're about to conquer this shit. We fucked up before, but we're gonna go back. And I think that right there kind of shows like what Marines are fucking made of. Like, never fucking giving up, fucking stubborn, you know, fucking never quit. And then we're like, let's fucking do this. And then we ended up driving back to California. Sick ass road trip. And now I'm cutting hair at Bishop's Edge. Been there right here at Bishop's Edge since August 2021.
Wow, man.
Yeah. So right now, fucking like how my father fucking took us in, it gave me 3.5 feet. Like, when I look back on it, like I follow his example, you know. Fucking you just gotta go out there and work and, you know, grind, you know. Mix that shit in with being a fucking Marine and that whole mindset, and then her as well. And we're just fucking out here to like conquer the world. Whatever the world throws at us, we're gonna adapt and overcome. You know, it's gonna suck for a little bit, but we got this. We've been through so much worse shit, you know, and it's been paying off. Fucking during that time when fucking I was just couch surfing and homeless and shit. This one time my son, he was hungry. I only had $5 in my pocket, cause during that time I had something in collections, and the OC shares came into my bank account, wiped me out. So I had $5 in my pocket. My son he was hungry, so I got him a Happy Meal, and I didn't eat all day, you know. And I remember thinking like, yo, like you feel like a failure as a father for putting your son in that position. And yeah, that shit, you know, I remember thinking like, this shit's never gonna happen. And then fast forward the shit till today, you know, I'm looking at like what I'm charging at the barbershop and the amount of people I'm bringing in. Like this year I'm projected to possibly break 100K, and I started, dude, only had only had $5 in my pocket. And then my son, he, you know what sport we got him in?
What?
Fucking MMA.
Oh, yeah?
Fuck yeah.
How old is he
He's
now?
9.
Wow.
Fuck yeah. So he's gonna be fucking conquering the world and shit.
That's
At least have the mentality to, you know?
Does he know now that you guys were homeless at that time?
He doesn't know.
Still doesn't know that? Wow.
And if you ask him, what's your favorite part about going on vacation? You know what he'll tell you? Sleeping at the hotels.
You know what? That's exactly what I was thinking, because I got 3 kids.
Yeah.
And I know that going on vacation, you know, some of the best times that the kids have is being in a hotel.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I was thinking, you know, your son's 4. That's probably a good lie to tell. You're on vacation.
Uh-huh.
Or maybe it's not a lie. You guys are on a little vacation.
Yeah.
It's a shitty ass vacation where you guys need to pull your shit together.
Yeah.
But for him, it's probably, like you said, some of the best times of his life.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
And do you have any more kids?
Yeah, I got a 4-year-old. He was born in Jersey.
Oh,
he was born in 2018 in Jersey. He got a whole Jersey attitude. I swear to God.
Wow, man. That's amazing. So you're doing good now.
Yeah.
And you went from broke to you're making really good money now, man, as a barber. And is your wife still working at the Wounded Warriors?
Yeah.
Fucking awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And speaking about like Wounded Warrior and all that, so when I started cutting hair at Ambitious Edge in August 2021, that's when Biden ordered for all the troops to get withdrawal from Afghanistan, pull out of Afghanistan. Mm-hmm. And then when, you know, as all this shit's developing, 2-1 is over there. 2-1 is right here, like next to the fucking base. Mm-hmm. Some of these guys live like in barracks right next to where 2-1 was. I'm like, holy shit, this is local. This is like local news, but international news at the same time. And then, so when all that happened on August 26, 2021, you know, the 13 service members died. 9 of them were from Camp Pendleton, and then including the corpsman as well. And then the Marines that got injured, you know, they checked into fucking Wounded Warrior, where my wife was working at. So she got to meet all these guys. Wow. And I'm like, wow, this is crazy. And then I'm like, you know, I just want to help somehow. Like I feel like I'm a great barber. I feel like I'm really skilled. I've been cutting hair like full time for the past like 7 years. I have my hours, you know, I put in the work. And I'm a Marine, and I can relate to some of these guys. Just from being a veteran, maybe I can like, you know, hey, you want to just like come in and get a haircut, at least it look fresh. You know, maybe I know for a fact, like when you get a clean haircut, you fucking leave the barbershop, you look good and you feel good. Yeah. You know, it's the little things that matter. Yeah. When they got back, I reached out to a Marine who was out there, and I'm like, hey, don't even trip. Like, I just threw it out there. I'm like, you know, I'm a veteran. I cut hair Sacramento. Dude, if you want, dude, I'll cut your hair for free. Like, don't even trip. You know, just come to the shop. I won't charge you at all. And I haven't charged them to this day. Wow. He tips me, but I don't fucking charge him. I just kept my word there. Nice. You know, and then I cut him up, couple other dudes up who were over there. Dude, these dudes tell me the wildest stories. Like what you're doing here, these guys just like off the street. I'll talk to them. Were you there? Oh, you were there? Oh shit! And tell me the wildest shit. One dude, I'm not gonna say his name, but this dude, oh my god, I cut him up the other day actually. So like when he was at Abbey Gate and the bomb blew up, you know, he took shrapnel all over, and he took a ball bearing that went like through his neck or shattered his jaw, came out this way. And there was a female Marine that she's paralyzed now, but they started getting shot at, from what I've been told. They were getting shot at, and then while he's super fucking injured and bleeding out, he ran over there, picked her up, and fucking saved their life, you know? And then he, from what I've been told by my other client who was on the bird with him getting evacuated, that he died, and he was on the bird, and a special forces medic from like the army made an incision like across his chest, reached into his chest cavity and started massaging his heart. Just like a Hail Mary, hopefully this keeps him alive. He's in there pumping his heart to keep the blood going. And this motherfucker survived.
Wow.
And he's in my fucking chair.
Holy shit.
And I'm just like, oh my God.
The guy that survived is in your chair?
Yeah.
Wow.
Great fucking guy. And that shit is like mind blowing, because like it was 13 service members that passed away, and rest in peace to all of them. Mm-hmm. Dude, like at one point, just thinking about it, it was 14 at one point, you know, until he came back to life, you know?
Yeah. I wonder how many other stories like that there are too, that we don't know about.
Exactly. Like incredible stories. And he got a Bronx Star of Valor.
Wow. That's amazing, man.
Yeah.
Well, it's awesome that you're giving them free haircuts, man.
Yeah.
That's fucking out of the goodness of your heart.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Well, Kevin, we've reached towards the end, man. We're gonna get ready to wrap it up.
Right on.
Any last words before we cut the tape?
Yeah, if you're a Marine or a veteran or whatnot, active duty or reservist, and you're dealing with some shit, the best thing you can do is just talk about it. You know, the more you talk about it, the better it gets. I know some cases are more severe than others, but the least you could do is talk about it. And if you need a haircut, hit me up. On Instagram, I go by the Barracks Barber, _Barracks Barber. And yeah, Semper Fi.
Semper Fi, Kevin. Thanks for being here, brother.
Wow.
I got bad thoughts that make my mind scared. Hold me hostage and they don't fight fair. Who gon' pray for me and wipe on my tears? Who gon' save me if you not right here? Move this darkness and make my sight clear. Take me your way cause I don't like here. Ghost of my past, they feeling the night air. Wake me up, I'm trapped in my nightmares.